Hey people, welcome back to my Tsukihime stream and Tsukihime Remake stream, and we're gonna be continuing where we left off. That was a long time, I guess. I just felt like playing today. And we're gonna be starting Shiki's the common route. Then we'll try to get back to Arcways route. I don't know when the CL route is coming out, but you know, hopefully before Shell's route is out, I finish again Arcways route. Anyway, let's start it. Let's see. The above-ground rail line switches to an underground line without warning. The train, spewing artificial light, dives into the darkness. The sound of creaking vehicles. Artificial light passing by at irregular intervals. As my seat vibrates in time with the second hand of the clock, I think about the passage of time and space. It's early morning, 6:33 a.m. Half an hour has passed since I got onto this train. I can't go back anymore. All this time and distance is now keeping me apart from the family that took care of me for all these years. How I accept this may be a measure of the depth of my compassion as a human being. Why? Despite our physical distance, do I think of them as still being close? Or have I written them off as part of the past? I wonder which of the two I feel. I ponder it for a moment, then realize I don't feel it either. I'm the only one on the 8-person bench, and the row facing me is entirely empty. The only passengers are a man in a suit dozing off in the next row over, and a girl standing in front of the door. Because it's such an early morning train, it's very lonely inside the train car. Perhaps because I'm so absorbed in my thoughts, I strangely don't even register the clatter of the train. I vaguely imagine a spaceship flying through the dark void of the space. The noise of the chaotic outside world does not reach me. All that's here is my wordless imagination, the sound of my heart pumping blood, and the memories of what happened just an hour ago. It came out of the blue. Tono Mikihisa has passed away. Tono Shiki is the return to Tono household at once. The telegram sent from my original household, whom I haven't heard from in nearly 7 years, said something to that effect. Telegram. Telegram? What? Anyway, I couldn't go against the decision made by the main Tono family. I'm still a student after all, and I rely on them for living expenses. And the act of defiance, I decided to leave the morning of the day before I had to return, rather than the night before. I just wanted to stay as long as possible in the home I have been living in up until now. It was my way of showing my respect to the Arimas. They might have only done as the main household ordered, but even though I wasn't related to them at all, they still accepted me as one of their own. Thank you for the food. Today's breakfast was delicious as always. Before the sun had risen, I finished my breakfast, left the table, and pressed my palms together in the room that used to be mine. It was a meager way to express my gratitude for all the years I've spent there. But if I didn't get these feelings off my chest then, they'd linger in my heart longer after I'd left. Life with them was nothing but cheerful. That's all the baggage I needed to take with me. When I left the Arima household, Keiko-san was the only one to see me off. It was my own suggestion that I should be as quiet as possible as to not wake the rest of the family. You're leaving behind the little sister Arima person. This is why we have that thing in Multiblood. Anyway. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Please give my regards to Father and Miyako. The person who had played the role of my mother for 7 years had a terribly sad look in her eyes. I never thought I'd see her look like that. I know it will be hard living in the Tono mansion, but hang in there. You're physically weak, so don't be too reckless. I accepted her words of concern with an open heart. The past 7 years have been truly peaceful for me. But the Aramas didn't mind having me around either. Then I couldn't be happier. After 7 years, I'm as healthy as a man can be. I may not, I may not look like it, but my body is rather sturdy, you know. Yes, you're right. The Tonos are full of special people. What did she mean by this? But your fearlessness is something uniquely yours. Your ability to take things in stride, even as a child, has always amazed me. At her words, I mingled with a bitter smile. I smiled back. It made me happy that in Keiko's mind, I was still her child. You're overestimating me. I'm off then. Take care of yourself, Mom. Yes, I will. Take care as well, Shiki. Okay, let me do the voice thing. So. No, I don't get to do the voice thing a lot more in this. In the original game, because it's not voice acted, I have to do the voice. But here, no, I really don't have to. Anyway, Keiko-san not replying with a "I see you" was something I'd expect. She sent me out with tears in the corner of her eyes, having already accepted that I would never return. This all happened just 40 minutes ago. It was a turning point in my life. It was the beginning of a new life for me and the end of Tonoshiki's old one. The scenery outside is changing little by little. We must have passed through Yashirogi, a suburb across the river, and entered the urban area of Shuya. The train starts heading up toward the surface. I feel it gently ascending the slope. My eyes, which had become accustomed to the artificial light, are rejuvenated by sunlight. The train rumbles on, providing a panoramic view of the city. Give me a sec. I'm trying to remember how to do and what's to do how to do anything, how to do what the controls are. Let's see. The train rumbles on, providing a. Okay, I already said that line. Yeah, we're still far off. Yeah, completely nuke. Everything that happened last year is gone, so I really need to repeat the entire thing. I have to switch laptops, and I thought I was able to copy my save, but it's not there. So, you know. Anyway, let's continue. Most of the city is still sleeping. Outside, the air is getting colder. It is an autumn morning in October, a time when all traces of summer had disappeared. Thinking about it, I've been gazing at the scenery for almost a year and a half. This will be the last time I see this view on my way to school. I think back on the last 7 years, which passed by as quickly as the scenery outside the window. When I was 10 years old, I recovered from a serious accident that should have killed me on the spot. I met Sensei. I started living at the Arima household. Then finally began the autumn of my second year of high school. The kind of special incident that Sensei told me about never occurred, and as long as I wear the glasses she gave me, I don't see those lines at all. I believe that I've been spending my life living a precious yet ordinary life. Starting today, however, things are going to going to get a bit more serious. I'm returning to my original home, so it's not as though I'm headed somewhere I don't belong, but at the same time, something about it just doesn't feel right. I've gotten used to an ordinary house that living in a place like the Tono Mansion is going to be a big hassle for me. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
だいたい学校より広い洋館とか想像つかないんですけど。
I don't know why this is the first voice line. Anyway. I'm amazed at the things that I was able to endure as a child. Even if I don't feel anxious about it, the mere thought of being forced to return to such an anachronistic lifestyle makes me feel a bit overwhelmed. The train arrives at the large station and stops for several minutes. Since then, this train stops at every station. I'll have to wait for the next rapid train to pass by. Concept of rapid trains and limited express. I still don't get that. No, yeah. So technically, also in New York, they're supposed to be like that concept, but because they live in the city, the concept of rapid trains rarely happen, except for like the C train versus the A train. I don't think the 456. No, maybe the 456 also does that. I'm just not so familiar. The R is the most local train. Well, I actually don't know too much about the concept of express. Now, New York is just simple as local or express. That's it. But in Japan, you have like the normal, the limited express, the rapid express, and some other shit. I don't know, man. That's why they're very. You have. I totally get the part where they're really, they feel pressed for time because they're just gonna leave their house like 30 minutes before they get to work, but they have to specifically ride the Rapid Express or something, or they get fucked. I don't know, man. Anyway, let's continue. At this time of day, I would expect to see a few businessmen in suits around, but this morning is particularly quiet. The rapid train passes by on the track over. Thank you for waiting. The next stop is. I hear a familiar announcement. The pneumatic door closes using a pneumatic pressure. There are only 4 stops left until Shuya Station, where my high school is located. She's here. The woman who just slipped in through the closing doors is another student from my high school. She has a green ribbon, so she must be a third-year student. She looks vaguely familiar. The bag she's carrying probably contains something for her club activities. Our eyes suddenly meet. She's staring at me. Not only that, but she comes sauntering up to me. It's been a while since I heard Kairi Kondo's voice, so I'm happy. Oops. The smile on her face made me apologize by reflex. Do people apologize for this thing? Not Japanese things. She chuckles. As I'm sitting there, stunned by her behavior, she continues. Here we go, the imprinting. Yes. It's the brainwashing bullshit. It's the brain. I wonder if no, actually, when I think about it, when I first played this, I really didn't think too much about like that weird thing. Man. Anyway, in an instant, my memory is jolted. Of course, she looks familiar. I met her several times at school. Actually, there's probably no one in our school who doesn't know Shiel Senpai. She had to make herself the popular girl. Wow. At some point, she started being called the almighty senpai of Soya. Of all the identities that she decided to pick, she had to pick the popular senpai. Fuck this shit. If there are first, she's supposed to be half French, half Japanese, and you should see her features to be like unusual for someone in Japan. Anyway, if there are, I hate my knowledge of future events. If there are first years who are troubled, she gives them advice and cheers them up. If there are second years who are lost, she will guide them herself. If there are third years causing trouble for other students, she will stop them from bullying their underclassmen. Some students even call her the true student council president. This is so. I just can't think how bullshit. How she decided to get like one of the most bullshit. Never mind. So she's more dependable than the teachers and the student school council themselves. It goes without saying that when I ran into trouble last week, she helped me out. Though it's actually a bit of a blur, if you know what I mean. She's right about me not being a morning person. Not only that, but it's very likely that my thoughts are a bit clouded by the prospect of returning home for the first time in 7 years. I actually don't know or care too much about which options I choose, as long as I get the Arcwade's route and I just finish it. And as far as I know, this game doesn't do like true routes. I think CL only has like a normal and true ending, but Arcwade's I don't think she has a true ending. She only has one ending, I think. It's been a while since I did Tsukihime Remake. I swear Nasu should do the Red Guard, the Far Side route with a normal, a good and true ending, man. Especially for Gawk, man. Give her like 3 fucking 3 endings. And I swear, they also give Sachen also that shit. While we're at it, nah, you know what? I don't think Noel's gonna get a route because they already did that for Melty Blood. They I guess they didn't expect that people would be like, oh, Noel's like awesome and all. That's what happens when you introduce a new guard in the story. People would demand for new routes. Anyway, let's continue. So I have a few questions. I'm just gonna go for that. Suddenly, a question crosses my mind. Why is she riding the train this early in the
で
morning?
もどうしたんですか？先輩部活やってませんよね。こんな時間に登校なんて。
いえ、何を隠そうボランティア活動の帰りなんです。ほら、生徒会公募で公園のゴミ拾いがあったでしょ。あれをちゃちゃっと先ほどまで。
She's making such bullshit right now. As she says that, I let out an as everything slides into place. Senpai is the type that always work hard for other people's sake.
早朝から30分だけの奉仕活動だったんですけどね。 他の皆さんは一旦帰宅したんですが、私は面倒なのでこのまま登校してしまおうかと。
I'd personally do that too because it's a hassle to go home. Then I don't know, man. It's 6 something. Senpai's bag. What time do classes start? 8? I see. 8? I don't know. I remember. No, maybe I'm mixing up my undergrad where I had like a 7 o'clock class. That was bullshit. Senpai's bag makes a clacking sound. I thought it was something for her club activities, but it seemed to be cleaning equipment. I really wonder if that was actually her cleaning equipment. Those were really cleaning
中身
equipment.
見たいんですか？先輩の持ち物をチェックするなんておとなしそうに見えて大胆ですね。
I mean, I won't be surprised if that was the 7 scriptures. I won't be surprised if those were what's inside her bag is the 7 scriptures, but no. Senpai leans in close to look at me in the eye. Wait. Her face, her smell, and so many other things are so close I'm not even sure where to look.
いえ、そういうわけじゃなくてですね。もし折りたたみ式のほうきとか熊手とかなら珍しいなと。
ほうほう、私の万能高枝切りばさみも見たいと。よろしい。それでしたら放課後いつもの茶道部に来てください。
Those are the 7 scriptures, aren't they? I can't help but feel embarrassed hearing her say that with an infectious smile spread across her face. Unable to come out with an immediate reply, the best I can muster is a weak yes.
約束ですよ。ここだけの話、部費で購入したお茶受けが余ってしまいまして、日持ちするものではないので元気な男の子の協力が不可欠なんです。
そうですか。じゃあ予定が合えばぜひ。
I wonder if like this is part of her plan, like she's an executor assigned to like observe Shiki and any other candidates that could potentially house role as a body, spirit thing, soul. I don't know, man, but like
食べ物に釣られていくとか猫かって話ですけど。
her smile is so friendly that I can't help but joke a little. The upperclassman with a green ribbon replies.
どちらかというとワンちゃんではないでしょうか。というか猫科はよくありません。最後まで頼りになるのは律儀で頭のいい犬科です。
And I guess she hates Neko Arc so much. She declares her oddly strong preferences with this pleased look on her face. Yeah, felines when you know, it's like a little jab by Nasu. It's a little jab by Nasu. Since we're heading the same way, our conversation continues to roll on. We talk about last week's midterm exams, about the sports festival which was reduced in scale and only lasted a day, about the cafeteria where the menu has never changed, about the controversy between the students and the school over the use of mobile devices, which ends up being in a bit of a downer, so we changed the topic and laugh about our impressions of a movie we had recently seen. Nasu's age is showing and talking about like there's issues about like the mobile phone thing. 15 minutes pass quickly. This is the universally beloved senpai that the rumors describe. She can really hold a conversation. I don't want to think about the fact that we'll soon arrive at Soya Station, so I raise another topic. But
ちょっとうるさいんですけど。
I don't. Yeah, I think this we'll figure out her story in the Far Side routes. Actually, I haven't watched like the compilations of all bad endings because I know the bad endings kind of shed a little light about like details about the characters. I mean, if I exclude the parts regarding the ones I learned from like the original, Yeah. This is still this character is still like an unknown for me. I know she's related to like the bandaged man. Paul Green. Paul Green. Anyway, I should point out we had forgotten about our surroundings. We both bow our heads to apologize. Oh.
怒られちゃいましたね。
ごめんなさい。私の笑い声が大きかったんです。きっと。
After that, the conversation ends. It's as though the friendly atmosphere we had experienced up until now had been a lie. Everyone is just a stranger, and the silence peculiar to the city dominates the train. The train arrives at Soya station. It's just before 7 o'clock. It's a little early for school, and the city is still asleep. The station is quiet now, but in an hour it will be full of people and cars.
今朝も交通量が少なめですね。最近街の目覚めが遅い気がします。皆さん夜更かしなんでしょうかね。
Senpai says something strange while carrying her heavy luggage.
荷物学校まで持って行きましょうか。
ああ、いえいえ、お気になさらず。私は寄っていくところがありますので、ここでお別れですね。
My guess is this is her actually first time in the area, and she's about to look for an apartment so she could put her stuff or something. I don't know how they work, man. So waving her arm with a smile, Senpai runs off. It's such a light and fast run that the onomatopoeic boing would be appropriate. Okay. I almost want to break into a run as well, so as not to be outdone, but I have no particular reason to hurry. Why would you? Besides, I have my body to worry about. I'll just head to school at my usual pace. And then the girl from earlier comes out at the ticket gate. She walks past me at a fast pace.
見かけ通り軽薄なんですね。うんざりしました。
And leaves behind a scribing criticism. She knows. Yeah, I don't know, man. I need to read up on what's up with her, other than being related to Paul Graham. Paul Graham? Is that his name? I haven't played New Vegas in ages. I'm stunned by her sudden rebuke. Apparently, I really offended her. From now on, I'll be more careful when talking on the train. I may have unintentionally said something that made people uncomfortable. Well, even if you take that into account.
いや、最近の中学生はおっかないな。
Imagine being outdone by a middle school student. To get so harsh a critique while simply passing by, she's like a samurai casually executing a peasant. Ah, this BGM, man. It's all coming back to me. This is some OG Tsukihime music. I walk to school a little slower than usual. By the time I see the main gate, it's almost 7 o'clock. Students on their way to club activities are hurrying past the main gate. They must be trying to use up the limited time they have until 8 o'clock, the start of home. Oh, okay, there you go, 8 o'clock. Tokyo Metropolitan Soya High School. This year marks the 14th anniversary of the old school's founding. It's a totally unremarkable high school with a moderate rate of advancement, passable extracurricular activities, and reasonably lax school rules. Wait, why are they worrying about like the mobile phone thing? The only complaint for the male student is a very common one. Please improve the outdated uniform design. Our requests have been completely ignored. Well, you know, the reason they're doing that is because they don't want to change design for Shiki. I'm talking about like Takeuchi or whatever. On the other hand, the female student's uniform was changed 3 years ago. Kind of makes you think. Actually, what did they look like? Let me actually look for a second. Sachin. The difference is it's super huge between the old one and the new one. Maybe the skirt is a little... No, it's the length is the same. Change the ribbon style. I'm basing this on Sachin and it's either vest versus like a full-blown sweater. No, anyway, I'm looking at the wrong person, baby. I mean, I should be looking at Ciel. Ciel's probably an updated, better design change. Yeah, there's a switch from like... Well, she wears a blazer now. She's no longer just wearing a vest. She's No, I think the most prominent change in school uniform would be like Akia's. Akia's has the traditional sailor uniform. Akia would be a better Akiha. I kind of like Akia's design. Yeah, there is a big change. There's a big change. Oh shit! Let's just stop looking at Akia. She's my second favorite character. She's my second best girl. The school thought that people would be hesitant to apply if they had to wear the old-fashioned sailor uniform, so they did their best they could to compromise. Yeah, okay. The scenery is familiar, but something feels amiss. Everyone seems more hectic this morning. Teachers are running to the staff room with pale faces. An unfamiliar black car is stationed in the parking lot. The sky is bleak. I find myself imagining a funeral with no attendees or a sober funerary curtain screeching on and on into the distance. I sigh at my dark thoughts. I decide to shake off my unpleasant premonition and head to the classroom. I enter the empty classroom. I sit down in my chair and kill time until the morning homeroom. As I studiously dedicate myself to prep work, the classroom begins to fill with people.
おはよう。本日の朝練無事終了のお知らせ。
あれ？一番乗りは私らじゃないんだ。今日の早くない？
ああ、あれか、ボランティア。でも今日だったっけ？やっば、俺サボったかも。
The students in class 2C get along better than most. They greet each other cheerfully as they see one another before taking their seats. I have a chat with the students that have just come back from club activities. We cover everything ranging from last night's news, which have been thoroughly discussed. There's barely anything left to say about the school gossip that's less than 10 minutes old. It might just be a simple idle talk to kill time, but it's an unnecessary part of our routine. It's a light warm-up before the day begins. In this age of information overload, it would be exhausting for everyone involved if we only engage in serious dialogue all the time. The atmosphere in the classroom suddenly changes. The harmonious clatter is replaced with a furtive whispering.
なら道塞いでんじゃねえよザコども。朝っぱらから群がりやがって通行の邪魔だろうが。
A quickly and standoffish complaint echoes through the classroom. I know who it is without even having to look. The guy that's just shown up, the one responsible for casting a shadow over the classroom.
チーズグッモーニングメガネくん。今朝も新規臭い顔しやがってまったくクソみたいな野郎ですね。
Is this delinquent who long ago strayed from the idyllic spirit of our school?
おい、挨拶どうした？人が珍しく朝から来てやってんのにおはようの言葉もなしですか？むしろ朝からいてくれてありがとうぐらいの気持ちはないのですか？
ないよ。朝から恋顔見てげんなりしてるだけ。そもそもありがとうとかないし、お前のために学校に来てるわけじゃないし。
何？バカ言うなよ。俺は遠野のために学校に来てるんだぞ。そんなの不公平じゃんか。
I'm speechless. Sometimes I wonder why I'm his best friend. Orange dyed hair, pierced ears, the mean look in his eyes, his rebellious satire give the impression of someone who's always spoiling for a fight. In this day of age where culture of delinquent students has died out, he's a free-spirited purveyor of violence. That's him, Inui Arihiko.
まあいいか。朝から教室に来るのはいいことだ。おはよう、アリヒコ。ついに出席日数を気にしだしたか？
いや、そこは別に気にしてない。まだまだ余裕はありますよ。今日は家に姉貴がいるんでサボれなくなっただけ。つうか朝まで鉄腕してたんでいい加減体力の限界だ。
そうか、すまない。挨拶をやり直させてくれ。おやすみ、クズヒコ。机に急げ。さっさと寝ろ。
何その冷めた反応。それが中学からのライバルに対する態度ですか？もっとこう熱い対応してくれませんかね？
なんで俺とお前がライバルなんだ。無軌道に行きたいんなら街で同行の死を見つけてろよ。あんまり構わないでくれ。
No, I've lent him almost 10,000 yen since middle school, and he hasn't given any of it back. That's not a rival anymore. That's normal. What an asshole.
どうしてかな。遠野ってば俺にだけ冷たいよな。他の奴らには聖人君子みたいなやつなのに不公平じゃね？
なんだ、分かってるじゃないか。世の中公平なことってあんまりないだろ。
そりゃそうだけどよ。やっぱお前俺には特に冷たくね？
Mariko sighs exaggeratedly. It's not like I'm being cold to him on purpose. It's just a natural consequence of how frank we are with each other. Although our interests and tastes are different, we're on the same wavelength somehow, I guess.
ああ、家から逃げてきたはいいとして、普段から夜型のお前が朝から出席するなんてどんな風の吹き回しだ。ちょっと、いや、かなり普通じゃないぞ。
まあな、俺だってそう思う。たまたま目が覚めたからって来るもんじゃねえよな、学校ってやつは。ぶっちゃけもう帰りてえ。ああ、やっぱ学生には勉強する意思とか必要なんですかね？
He's certainly right, but when this guy says it, it makes me think that simply coming to school despite not feeling up to it is admirable.
そのあたりの議論は今度、暇な時に鏡に向けてやってくれ。俺が聞きたいのは、なんで街に行かないかってこと。カラオケでも漫画喫茶でも時間潰すならそっちのがいいんじゃない？
そりゃあれだよ。最近は何かと物騒だからですよ。腹ごとこなすのもただじゃねえし、あっちには体力ある時しか顔出したくねえわけ。
物騒？
おう、遠野だって知ってんだろ、例のあれ。派手に出回ってる通り魔事件の話だよ。駅前のセンター街、夜になると警官も巡回しているしな。
そっか。 そんな話もあったっけ？
Okay, good. Hearing about it from Arihiko has jogged my memory. The house I lived in until yesterday is a few stations away from here, so I haven't really been paying much attention to events surrounding Soya Station. Pretty sure it was all over the news though. If I recall correctly.
なんだっけ、すごく低俗な売り文句だったけど、深夜の通り魔事件だっけ？
連続猟奇殺人事件な。被害者は大抵若い女で、2日前に発見された仏さんで8人目。かつ全員の喉元にバツの字の傷跡があるとかないとか。
What the hell? So bizarre I can't even picture it.
違うよ乾くん。殺されちゃった人はみんな体内の血液が著しく失われているだよ。
It's her. Satsuki's here, man. Fucking Satsuki, man. We're gonna wait until like frickin' 6 years till we got the far side routes at this point. Frickin' Satsuki's here. By the way, Satsuki's VA had her birthday recently, I think. I was looking at her Instagram, Twitter thing. I just randomly remembered that. Or I don't know, she was celebrating for something. I was given the impression it was her birthday. Anyway, we must have been talking pretty loudly because Yumizuka pops in from nearby to correct him.
ああ、そうだったそうだった。現代の吸血鬼かっていう見出しだったもんな、あれ。サンキュー、弓塚。おはようさん。
乾くんもおはよう。ついでに言うと外傷には個人差があって、傷が全くない場合と損傷の激しいタイプに分かれてるだったかな。
Is she already a vampire at this point? No, she's becoming a vampire at this point.
詳しいんだね、弓塚さん。
そんなことないよ。この町で起きている事件なんだもん。ニュースを見てれば嫌でも覚えちゃうことだと思う。
とま、そういうことだよ、遠野。いくら俺でもな、夜中に殺人犯が出歩いているうちは夜遊びなんざしねっての。最近は真面目に家の中で夜更かししてるわけ。
なんだ、そんな理由だったのか。まともすぎて逆に意外だ。殺人犯に怯えて家にこもるなんてお前らしくもない。
らしくないじゃねえよ。普通は殺人犯に怯えるだろう。こっちはやる気がねえのに、あっちだけやる気満々とか不意打ちにも程がある。絶対にごめんだね。俺はまだ人生棒に振りたくねえ。
ああ、そっか。そうだよな。狙われたらとことんまで付き合うしかないってことだもんな。
Bro, why do you make it sound so easy?
お前ねえ、そこは逃げるって選択肢はねえの？なんでとことんまで付き合うんだよ。
だって逃げられないんじゃないのか、そういう場合って。
遠野に振った俺がアホだった。実際の話、俺も殺人犯は気にしてねえ。ああいうのはほら、天才だろ。出会っちまう方に運がない。
Oh man, you know what? I randomly remembered Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer, at the ending of it, where everyone's fighting Muzan, and he was like, "You freaking demon hunting corps, or whatever. Why did you guys just live a normal life and just think this is just think I'm just some natural disaster? Why do you have to be freaking weirdos and shit like that?" I don't know why. I randomly remembered that. That's the gist. But this is basically it.
俺が街に出ないのはもっと現実的な理由でさ。最近北口駅前で新手のバカどもが湧いてんだよ。 正直顔も見たくねえ。
In front of the North Gate, that's downtown opposite the business district. At night, it's bustling with lots of people and traffic. Arihiko also lives near the North Gate, so if he's avoiding these new idiots, they must be a pretty dangerous group indeed.
どうのも聞いたことねえか？度胸試しのようなもの。秘密の入り口から地下道に入って奥までつければ大金が手に入るってやつ。
That's obviously sounds like a scam, you know? Like in the middle of it, there's gonna be like a delinquent squad or like some freaking muggers spreading that shit, and they'll fucking rob you.
それなら私も聞いたことあるけど、それってただの怪談じゃなかった？
ああ、結構昔からある都市伝説だったらしい。それを儲け話っぽく仕立てて利用してるバカどもがいるんだよ。どっから流れてきた新参者か知んねえが、おかげで北口の空気の悪さはシャレにならねえ。俺基本的に痛いの嫌だし、あんだけ派手にやってればポリも動くだろうし、連中が捕まるのでしばらく自重して家にこもってんのよ。
The urban legend of the North Gate. I'm no local, so I can't say I've ever heard of it. I guess that's something else I'll have to start paying attention to starting today. I had this weird feeling that it might be important on the far side route.
なんだよ、反応薄いな。
Actually, yeah, that's the main difference between like the near side routes and the far side routes. Like, at least based on what I know how the near side routes work out, like the only super different thing is like sales route, where you know you essentially have an ending where you get so much action and all that. But you know what makes the far side routes beautiful is every single thing that was peppered across the story will be explained. Like, if you're like looking for a story where about vampires fighting, if you want to focus on that side, like I'm not saying like the arc raid in the CLR doesn't have like some social critique or something to say from Nasu or something like that, but they tend to be more focused more on like exciting actiony things. That's not, again, not to say that, you know, there isn't something to learn from going to arc raid and CL's route, but if you want to get like into the world building, hidden stuff that people have been randomly talking about in the background, passing mentions, the far side route is always like, I can't wait for the U Talker route. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't even like the new characters are gonna factor in Satsuki's route. Shit.
さてはあれか？朝から貧血でぶっ倒れたのか？
いや、今朝はまだ大丈夫。心配してくれるのはありがたいんだけどね。そう四六時中貧血を起こしてたら体が持たないよ。
I think I'll end at 2:30 or 3 o'clock. I need to do something. Anyway.
まあそりゃもっともだ。遠野が大丈夫だって言うんならまあ大丈夫なんだろうよ。
ほら、授業が始まるぞ。早く席に戻って寝ろ。